Hello and welcome to our tarot of the week, and very unusual card. A very unusual card. It's one that people don't necessarily like. So I'm using my very old and dilapidated looking Aleister Crowley Thoth cards today. And today we have the Devil, and it's in reverse. So what does that mean? Remember, reverse isn't catastrophic energy. I think that's one of the things that people get a little bit obsessed about. Oh, it's all doom and gloom because it's in the reverse position, but it just means things are just a little bit slower. And the Devil, wow, look at this card. It is so intricate, very masculine in energy, as you can see, the portrayal of the phallic symbol there. But I'm going to turn it round so we can look at the image in the correct way, and then we'll interpret both the reverse and the positive. So here we go. Here is the Devil. And it's all about how we see things. The right eye in this card is said to be the one that we create our life with, and the left eye is everything we've already created. But it has a third eye. This goat, remember, the devil is always seen as a horned animal. So we've got this billy goat here, hence the very phallicness of the image itself. So here's a third eye, and our third eye is how we create. So it's where our imagination is. People really focus on the third eye as something that we see the unseen universe with, and ghosts and spirits. That's what people have, this sort of desire in using the third eye. But actually, if we take a step back from the psychic application of our third eye, and then started to apply it to our lives, our own lives, it is about creating, imagining, seeing, having a process around, I can see myself doing that, I see myself getting that job, I see myself. Because this card is all about lust, lusting after things. And it is, as I say, very, very sexual, I suppose, on some level in its context. So let's deconstruct the card. So I'm just going to look at the card. So we have the visual thing going on. The right eye is what we're about to create. The third eye is imagining ourselves moving forward, what we would like to see happening. And the left eye is what's already been created. It's already in the past. We can't go back into the past, but we can reflect on the past and learn from the past. So we've got all of this process going on. In the middle, we have the staff, which has the winged serpents on there, and that to me is focusing in on the heart space. So it's right there in the heart chakra of the goat. So that lovely red dot there would be where the heart center is on this goat. And remember, a clothed animal. So this is a clothed animal. So we have hoofed, claws, and clothed. And so with him, when we think about the characteristics of a goat, they're very dexterous, very nimble. They can jump out of any situation, and they can climb any obstacle. So there's a lot of versatility in what is happening here. But then we come down into the two round parts. They could be seen as testicles if you see that whole phallic energy there, that masculine energy. And what we've got are two very different images. So let me just go like this. So in this particular one, we've got the obstacles. We've got this sort of obstacles. We've got the struggles, the fighting. We've got resistance. And then on the other side, on this side, we've got the whole relinquishing, surrendering, letting go aspect of life. And that's the devil. We have a devil on our right shoulder and a devil on our left shoulder. And so we have this process within our mind. I should do that. No, you can't do it. You can't do it. Yes, you should do it. No, you can't do it. Yes, you should do it. And so it's about our obsessive behaviours. It's about our impulses, our compulsions, our drives, constantly fighting. And maybe that's where we're at right now. Maybe you are having a mind storm going on. Should I, shouldn't I, will I, won't I? Not quite sure. Globally, everyone around the globe is being impacted by financial constraints, both personally, both from the government. It's all out there. So, we've got this process where we're having to be maybe a little bit more constrained in our spending, a little bit more mindful, thoughtful. Do we actually really need that purchase, or is it okay to let that go? So we've got to really think about what we're doing. Are we struggling to the process? Or are we just going to surrender to it and just let ourselves just relax a little bit? There's also a little bit in this card about being duped. So having the wool pulled over our eyes, having that rose-tinted glasses being taken off, and suddenly we go, oh, I didn't realise that that's who that person was, or I didn't realise that that's what that process was, or I didn't realise that this was how we had to do something. I've just had that with filling in really technical forms that I need to send back to the UK. And so the clarity around all of that has taken quite a while for that to reveal itself to me. And I've just finished with the process now, and I feel quite comfortable, and I feel I know what I'm doing. I'll know I'm right if I get the right responses back. If not, I'll get more forms back to fill in. But that's that process. Are we seeing things really clearly, or is the devil playing tricks with our mind? And I think we need to be really aware of what drives us to make decisions, what is driving us to a point where we don't have buyer's remorse, where we sort of live in compulsion, and then we go, oh, no, I shouldn't have done that. And that's that buyer's remorse. We signed up for this, or we purchased that, or why on earth have I done that? The devil is in the detail, as the saying goes. And I feel with this card, he's not particularly sort of scary looking. He's not imposing his energy on you, possibly more like the devil cards in some of the tarots that are out there. I think it's about that dexterity and having that agile mind, where if things aren't going the way that we think they should, can we adapt our thinking? Can we adapt what we're doing so that we can see ourselves moving in a better direction? I love the depth of this card in that as we look into the the background of this card, we're seeing these little meshes of energy. It's almost like spiders' webs in the background. To me, they're like little creatures that are part of the process. And the web is where our thoughts can sometimes go. Once we start a tangent of thought, then it can go in all different directions, but we have to come back to this solid space, which is coming back to our heart space. Are we making the right decisions for the right reasons? Are we being duped in some way? So is the wool being pulled over our eyes? Do we need to really investigate a little bit deeper before we commit? Or do we just really need to change our behaviours so that we're not acting on impulse and we're not having buyer's remorse? It's a very, very, very interesting card. It certainly shouldn't hold any fear for you in choosing this card. And as I say, some of the devil cards and other tarots do look a bit more depictive, or the more archetype devil process. But goats are very stubborn, they're very wise, they're really agile and dexterous. They can adapt to any situation, and maybe that's what this card is telling us. We need to be really thinking long and hard before we commit to ourselves. So this is our card for today. I really love it. I do love it. The more that I've looked into that card, I just think it's really special. So I hope you get something from that message today. Always love your feedback. I know some of you don't comment on the actual Facebook page, but I do get private messages from you guys, which is really, really thoughtful that you take the time just to private message me and to sort of share how the card relates to you at this point in time. If you want to find out more about reading tarot cards, then by all means pop onto the website and have a look at the tarot. I do now have an audio course featuring the Aleister Crowley Thoth cards. I've got over 200 students on that course now, and it's going through a suit at a time. It's a 10-week course where we really investigate, really look deeper into the cards, and then there's a meditation with the cards. So if you want to really, really invest some time, I'll put the link to the new audio course, which is for the suit sword, into the bio of this particular recording. And we'll see you next week when we'll have more tarot of the day. Until the next time, take care for now. Namaste.